Smart CEO confronts host on air. The result will leave you speechless. Imagine a man, a tech titan, standing on the precipice of national acclaim. He's a CEO, a visionary, a self-made success. But what happens when the spotlight reveals not only his achievements, but also a stark bias? What if that bias is not just personal, but institutionalized, a deeply ingrained pattern of unfairness? What happens when the system you fought so hard to conquer turns around and questions your very worth? Prepare for a shocking confrontation, a battle of wits and wills, and a clash that will redefine the meaning of success. Get ready for an on-air moment so intense, so revelatory, that it will make you question everything you thought you knew about power, privilege, and the price of speaking the truth. This is the story of a CEO who dared to challenge the status quo and the unexpected consequences that followed. Darius Bell, CEO of Innovis, a revolutionary tech company, had finally arrived. Years of relentless work, sleepless nights, and unwavering belief in his vision had paid off. His company was on the cusp of a breakthrough, and he was about to become a household name. The call came. An invitation to appear on The Pulse, a top-rated talk show hosted by the formidable Madeleine Royce. This was the ultimate validation, a chance to share his journey and showcase his company to millions. Tasha, his ever-vigilant assistant, a woman with an uncanny sense for potential pitfalls, offered a hesitant warning. "Are you sure about this, Darius? It feels too good to be true." Her words echoed in his mind, a subtle premonition of the storm to come. Darius, however, was driven by a desire to represent not just himself, but also his community, to prove that talent and hard work could overcome any obstacle. He envisioned the interview as a testament to resilience, a beacon of inspiration for others aspiring to break barriers. He believed that his accomplishments spoke louder than any adversity. The invitation was a chance to demonstrate his company's innovations and also to challenge the stereotypes surrounding the idea of merit in the technology world. But as he prepared for the interview, he carried a subtle awareness of systemic challenges. The email arrived crisp and official with the subject line, "Exclusive invitation." The Pulse. Darius reread it several times, a mixture of elation and apprehension swirling within him. He could almost taste the triumph, yet a nagging feeling that something was amiss. He read the detailed itinerary, the pre-interview meetings, and the promises of a fair and balanced conversation. The date was set, and the stage was prepared. Days later, Darius stood in the sterile, fluorescent-lit hallways of the TV studio. The air was thick with the scent of hairspray and anticipation. The green room was a stark contrast to the vibrant world he had created at Innovis, a world filled with color, creativity, and innovation. He watched the makeup artists expertly applying foundation, each stroke a step closer to the public eye. He could hear the muffled sounds of the crew setting up, the clatter of cameras, and the hushed tones of the production staff. Tasha was by his side, her gaze scanning the environment, assessing the unspoken cues. Madeleine Royce, the host, entered with a practiced smile and a handshake that felt more like a business transaction than a greeting. Her opening remarks were polite, yet the glint in her eyes hinted at something else. The meeting felt staged. She had asked a few basic questions about his background, carefully crafting an image of a self-made man overcoming the odds, almost as if she was setting up a narrative. Darius sensed the undertones, the subtle undercurrent of an agenda that was slowly revealing itself. He was being presented not just as a CEO, but as a symbol. He noticed the subtle cues, the way the crew handled him, and the way Royce conducted the pre-interview, making him aware of the potential exploitation. He knew that this interview was not just about success, but about how the story would be framed. And the power of framing can be decisive. The cameras rolled, the lights blazed, and the interview began. Madeleine Royce, radiating practiced charm, started with a series of seemingly innocuous questions. "Darius, your story is truly inspiring. Tell us, what motivated you to start Innovis?" Darius, used to this routine, articulated his vision, detailing the challenges he faced and the innovations that his company had achieved. Royce nodded encouragingly, her smile reassuring. She spoke of his achievements in glowing terms, praising his strategic thinking, his ability to lead, and the impact of his work on the technology sector. And your success, it's been truly remarkable. A real testament to the American dream, isn't it? As the interview progressed, a subtle shift occurred. The questions became more probing, the praise more conditional. But, Darius, aren't you concerned that your rapid rise might be attributed to something other than pure merit? Darius paused, feeling a tightening in his chest. He responded calmly, highlighting his qualifications, his education, and the concrete results that his team had delivered. He spoke with conviction. Then came the turning point. Royce posed a question, laden with unspoken assumptions. Let's be honest, Darius. Isn't there a certain advantage in this climate for someone with your background? Don't you think that perhaps your success has benefited from preferential treatment or even government programs designed to aid minority-owned businesses? Darius felt a flash of anger. He took a deep breath, keeping his composure. Madeline, with all due respect, that's a very loaded question. He continued, our success is a result of hard work, innovation, and relentless pursuit. It's a testament to the talent within our team. I see our achievements as not just our achievement, but a symbol of possibilities for all those who are excluded. His voice was firm, each word carefully measured. Royce, undeterred, pressed on. But Darius, aren't you overlooking the advantages afforded to you? The funding opportunities, the social capital. Darius countered, I am not overlooking reality, Madeline. What I see are consistent obstacles and systemic biases that I and people like me must face. This is the double standard we must overcome every day. He turned the tables, challenging her assumptions. Perhaps the real question is why the system seems so determined to diminish those very accomplishments. Silence fell over the studio. Royce's smile faltered, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. The camera zoomed in, capturing every micro-expression. Darius continued, his voice rising with controlled passion. We are held to a different standard, a higher standard. We have to be better, work harder, and often still be judged unfairly. The narrative of advantage is a convenient way to dismiss years of struggle, to discount talent, and to minimize the impact of relentless perseverance. The air crackled with tension. It was the moment he had prepared for, the moment he had dreaded. Darius leaned forward, his gaze unwavering. The reality is, Madeline, that in this country, and particularly in industries like tech, the rules are not the same for everyone. The playing field isn't level. We are not given equal opportunities. We are often asked to prove our worth again and again, while others are given the benefit of the doubt. He paused, letting his words hang in the air. And frankly, that's what I'm doing here. I'm proving my worth, not just for me, but for every person of color who has faced unfairness, prejudice, and systemic bias, and is still building his or her dream against all odds. Silence. Total and absolute silence. Royce's face was a mask of shock and uncertainty. The crew stood motionless, their expressions a mix of awe, discomfort, and disbelief. He had silenced the studio. He could see the producer's face shift from polite interest to a grimace. He watched the other people's reactions. He had felt a sense of victory. The power of his words hung over the set. The studio's energy had changed. The tension was palpable, and there was a sense of something monumental that was unfolding. A cameraman accidentally bumped into a tripod, breaking the silence. Royce finally cleared her throat, her practiced facade beginning to crack. Darius had exposed not only the interviewer's bias, but also the larger biases of the system. He had challenged the comfortable narrative, exposing it for what it was, a distortion of truth. His words echoed in the space, a challenge to the status quo. The conversation had taken an unexpected turn. Within minutes, the clip was viral. Short snippets of the interview ricocheted across social media, igniting a firestorm of reactions. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram exploded with comments and opinions. The cable news channels picked up the story, and the debate raged on. Was Darius a hero exposing the truth, or was he an ingrate biting the hand that fed him? The headlines blared. CEO blasts media bias on live TV. Tech titan challenges systemic racism. Some called him a voice of reason. Others accused him of playing the race card. The comments sections were a war zone of opinions, a reflection of the deep divisions within society. The negative press began to surface, some of which had been planned. Investor meetings were canceled. Contracts were reviewed. Darius's phone rang nonstop, with both support and threats. Tasha was by his side, filtering the noise and managing the fallout. Despite the adversity, Darius was resolute. He knew this would be difficult, but he wasn't prepared for the extent of the backlash. The personal cost was immense. He felt isolated, misunderstood, and under siege. Every word, every action was scrutinized. But amidst the chaos, something unexpected happened. A major news network reached out, offering Darius a chance to tell his story on his terms. He'd have total control over the narrative. This was a pivotal moment, a chance to reclaim his story, to speak directly to the public, and to clarify his position. This was not just about him anymore. It was about the larger conversation. The offers kept flowing, and the potential for change was greater than ever. He decided to accept the offer. He would use the platform to drive deeper insights into systemic bias, to share his expertise, and to create a more equitable world. The struggle had taken a toll, but it also revealed a strength he didn't know he possessed. The fight for equality continued, and he was ready to keep fighting. Darius's journey exemplifies the challenges and triumphs of achieving success against the backdrop of systemic bias. His story sparks essential questions. Does true success mean conforming to a flawed system, or does it mean challenging it? Can we rewrite the rules to be more equitable? His bold confrontation reveals the difficult choices one makes while working within a biased system. This is a call to action. Do you believe the system is fair? What are your thoughts on bias in the workplace? Let us know in the comments below. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more in-depth stories of courage, resilience, and the fight for a more just world. Join the conversation. Let us know what you think. More thought-provoking content is coming soon.